I ain't the kind to wear a tie. Button up from 9 to 5. I tried that life but said goodbye. I'm not always polite, but I get the job done. Who says the world can never be fun? I'm simply unprofessional. Simply unprofessional. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Simply Unprofessional. I'm your host, Webby. Joining me tonight, we got Devin.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Devin, how you doing, buddy?
I'm okay.
You're okay? How's your week
I'm
going?
good. It's going.
Yeah.
It's a week. Yep.
Man, I'm in pain. This arm thing is still killing me. But I finally bitched enough to the doctor's offices that they finally gave me, I guess, a form of a painkiller, because they haven't given me anything for the pain. They're just like, oh, well, we want you to try this. We want you to try, like, these steroids. Try these steroids. Like, those things aren't helping. Give me something for pain so I can sleep at night. So they ended up giving me something that apparently is going to affect, like, it's for nerve pain, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Hopefully it works. The guy at the pharmacy, or the pharmacist, told me that it's going to make me not necessarily drowsy, but it's going to make me like,
Loopy.
no, that's not how he described it. He said blockheaded. Like, it's going to make you kind of like unaware and like just kind of like blank. I was like, okay, whatever. As long as I don't feel pain, I don't care. But yeah, all right. So Devin, we're not even gonna pretend. It is Thursday. It is October 31st. It is Halloween night. We're recording SU. This is gonna come out tomorrow. So I've been scrambling around. I've been trying to think. Okay, it's like, well, we already did our Halloween stream over the weekend, which I thought it went a lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we consistently we had quite a few people watching, and it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing all the different games and stuff.
I even have fun playing Pacify.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight. Not Pacify in general, but so I reached out to Ross and I was like, "Hey, I need some ideas about what to record for SU. I mean, it is Halloween, and it's the last day of October. I kind of want to go out on like a Halloween-ish type note." And he did give me a couple ideas, and one of which I actually really enjoyed, and I wanted your opinion on it. So first and foremost, okay, he put them in alphabetical order. He labeled them like 2A, 2B, and then throughout the alphabet. He got to like G before he gave up. He's like, that's all the ideas I got. First and foremost, all right, we don't trick or treat anymore. I don't trick or treat anymore. But what's your favorite Halloween candy, Devin? I don't necessarily know that I know the answer to this.
For me, probably just like a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Yeah, my man. Me too.
Is that my favorite candy all the time? Probably not, but Halloween, yeah, sure.
You can't really go wrong with a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. That's the thing.
No, it's like it's the safest option outside of like peanut butter allergies, which just miraculously popped up in the past like 30 years.
Right? Yeah,
Explain that to
you
people.
Think about that.
Like,
30 years ago, no one was allergic to peanuts.
There really wasn't. Like, not to the level of like where it's at. Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. It bothers me, people. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I mean, we understand. Yes, 30 years ago, people probably were allergic to peanuts, but the cases were so few and far between, or you just didn't hear about them. But nowadays, everybody's allergic to everything. Everything offends everybody. People need to fucking grow up. I don't get it. I don't know. I'm not one of those proponents of like every kid in a sports game should get a trophy, like
No.
a participation trophy.
That's not
No.
realistic.
That's
not realistic to life. Like, this is the people out there. Listen, all I'm saying is you have to look at it from this perspective.
How do you feel if your kid comes home, right, Devin? Imagine this: you have a child. Okay, your kid comes home and says, "Daddy, I won second place." Oh yeah, out of how many teams? 2.
Well, first off, I have a problem with the statement. I won second place. No, you lost. There's no winning in second place. You lost.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to be learned in losing. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I've learned so many of my greatest accomplishments came in the shadow of a loss or defeat. And you take that away. Like, you take that away from, what's out there, and what's the point? Like, it's so difficult to sit there. At that point, just what's the point? There's no point anymore.
And I mean, you can equate that to like a lot of different things. Like, okay, so for instance, before we started streaming, you were playing Magic the Gathering. I was in the middle of a Hearthstone game, which is another card game, right? But even in both of those aspects, if, say, me and you were playing Magic together or against each other, right? Which I hate to play you. I'm not gonna lie, I do.
I don't know, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I know.
You beat me more than I beat you, and you're like, I don't.
That's debatable.
No, it's not.
But if we're playing against each other and I lose, I learned something about that match. Not just the fact that I lost, but I learned what to look out for. I learned what kind of combination you use to beat me, and stuff like that. So going into the next time we play each other with those particular decks, I can be on the lookout. I know that if you play that, that Ajazi Pride Main, whatever the fuck, every time you gain life, he gets fucking attack power. Just kill him right the fuck out the gate.
And the thing, so like, you can apply that back to like life. It's like, if you don't give, or if you give people, like in a sports situation, if they go out, you're playing baseball and you have a bad game and you lose, and you have that true feeling of like, I lost, that's gonna do one of two things. People who maybe weren't cut out for it, they're gonna leave, and they're gonna just be like, well, we lost, whatever, this game sucks, I'm not playing it anymore. People that are really into it, they're going to go and figure out why they lost. They're going to go and get better. They're going to be like, well, I lost because, I should have been able to get more hits. So they're going to go practice their batting for a long time. They're going to go practice. They're going to get better and better and better.
Right.
And they're going to work to get better and stay better, because they don't want to experience that feeling of loss again, or that experience of being helpless. So you really got to, and you got to harness that. Like, you have to harness that. And I feel like you neuter a lot of that at a young age by, like, there's like, they play games now at like Little League and even above Little League where they don't keep score.
Right.
Like, there's baseball games right now where kids are playing baseball and they don't keep score. And I'm like, how do you not keep score? Like, you need to keep score. That shows something, that teaches something, that, just sitting there being like, oh, you got everybody's a winner, but that's also not true life. It doesn't show you how to work for something, how to push for something. So that same person, when they go get a job later, and they have all their friends are getting promoted, or their partner's getting promoted and they're not, they're like, well, what's going on? We're all winners here. It's like, well, no, Carrie's more of a winner than you are, because Carrie's trying. She's putting her foot forward. She's out here trying. Meanwhile, you're winning. So, yeah, I mean, come on. Like, come on, people. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That wasn't the topic of the show.
No, that really wasn't. We went from favorite Halloween candy to that. I mean, that's just that's one of our tangents. Fuck it. All right. The topic that I got for you, though, is... So Ross wrote to me, horror games that are scary versus not scary. And on top of that, what makes a game frightening?
Okay.
So, like, you could. I mean, there is no argument. Resident Evil. It is technically a horror game. Okay.
Yes, I would say the first like 1 through 2 of them are actually scary.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
after that,
Resident Evil 3. I was gonna say they stopped being scary. First one, I remember playing the first one when it was like new, and yeah,
Crocodile.
It was scary as fuck.
Crocodile all day.
Dude, just the zombie dogs freaked me out.
Right. I mean, and I would say even the new Resident Evil that came back, like that most recent one, where like they're on the farm, that one was kind of more in the vein of scary, but it was still Resident Evil. It was still a very different kind of thing.
Right. But like, yeah, you have games like that, and then you have games like, oh, what the hell was the name of the game that I played with Ross? The Evil Within. Okay, that's a horror game. It had kind of some jump scary kind of moments, but in general, it was kind of like a Resident Evil-esque sort of game. It really wasn't that scary.
You're right.
But then you have games like Pacify, which are very simple, arguably very simple games. Like, you have a very simple goal. It's fucking freaky as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, what games do we deem scary versus not scary? Like, if we could give like a little bit of a list, and then what to us makes a game scary? Like, I'll tell you right now, to me, it's ambiance and like the soundtrack. Like, if you put freaky ass music with like weird sounds in the background, like that's what Pacify does to me. Like, you start hearing like weird sounds and stuff, and then like that little ring looking chick fucking floating at you and whatnot. That freaks me the fuck out. Like, no lie. But like jump scares, that's another one. If you really want to scare me, do a jump scare. But like things like Dead by Daylight, you're dealing with, horror people like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger and stuff. The game's not scary. Sometimes you get a jump scare that might be scary because you turn around and all of a sudden there's, Michael Myers staring at you and you got to run for your life. But ultimately the game's not scary.
Not at all.
It's entertaining, but yeah, I mean, like, so what kind of things in games stand out that really kind of like put you on edge as far as this is a legit scary game? You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's the music and subtle noises, because I start getting in my own head. What about you?
For me, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like music, the ambiance of it, the camera, especially like some things they'll do where they'll restrict your camera where you can't look a certain way.
Yeah. Like
one of the scariest games I've ever played, which is not even really a full game. It's a demo for a game that they took off the market, which is unfortunate. It was going to be the new Silent Hill, but PT.
Oh, yeah. That's the one with Norman Reedus as the main character?
Yeah, it was supposed to be. And he canceled that game, and then they went on, and now they're doing, was it Death Standing or whatever it's called? Yeah. But yeah, no, originally it was supposed to be PT. PT, which was a canceled Silent Hill game. That was probably the scariest game I ever played. And it was just a demo, but it was just, they restricted the camera angle. You had like it gave you that sense of you're walking, and you would like walk in a room and then like walk out of a room, and you'd be like, and you'd have to go back in the room, and you're like, wait a minute, something's different in here. Like you would get that feeling, like it would hit you in the face, but you couldn't put your finger on it, and that's what was terrifying.
Right.
And also too, there's been a recent hack of that game where they went back and looked, and they hacked the camera in that game. It was like you could control the camera. They hacked the camera in that game, where in every single second of the game, the chick is actually right behind you. Lisa, the ghost, she's right behind you every second in the game.
Really?
But she just follows your camera, so you never see her. Until she wants to be seen.
I think that would freak me out. Because, like, okay, for instance, when we were playing Pacify on the Halloween stream, The worst part for me was when we were both in the boiler room and she came and got you, and I was just like, I can't get around either one of you. Like, I was stuck in the corner there for a minute, so I just literally faced the wall, and I just started saying, nope, nope. And then the worst part was when you're like, just that urgency in your voice, and you're like, Webby, don't turn around. Just stay there. Just whatever you do, just you're good. Just stay there. I was freaking out. Because I knew she was right behind me. You know what I mean?
She had her nose on your back. Like it was ridiculous. Like she had her nose on your back. I was like, oh god, no, not like this.
Oh man. What about that? What's that game? The Men of Medan or whatever, the one that you
Men of
wanted to
Medan?
get? Yeah.
Yeah. I actually bought that. I still haven't played it yet. I need to do that at some point.
That also looked like kind of a freakier type game because like that one gives you choices, and depending on your choices, it affects cinematically what happens.
Yeah, that game is just like one of my other. I wouldn't call that game. It's scary. It's a fun game, but it's not really scary because it's more of like an interactive movie. But they're all kind of terrible people, so you really don't care if they die.
Right.
Because it's made by the same people that made Until Dawn. Until Dawn is really one of my favorite games to play, but it's only on PlayStation, unfortunately. But it has a lot of cool people. Has like voice actors. Has like Hayden Panettiere, Peter Stormare, Rami Malek, Brett Dalton. They're all like voice characters in it. It was like an interactive movie. Like it was actually like an interactive movie. It was a really interesting game.
Right. So I mean, yeah, I mean, so listeners out there, feel free to post on our Facebook page too, because I want to know what makes things scary to you. Like me, I don't know. Even like when it comes to like movies and stuff, like we watched all those scary movies this month.
We're gonna watch The Shining at some point, probably this week, and then talk about it next time. That's what I think we're gonna do next time, if I can find the time to do it.
But like none of those movies struck me as like, yeah, they were horror, but none of them were scary to me.
No,
but like you get movies like if you sit down and you make me watch like 13 Ghosts, which
I find funny. He finds.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing is like it has good people in it. Like I love Matthew Lillard, right? And he's in that movie. But the thing is like there are literally maybe 2 scenes in the movie that they just stick with me, and then that makes me freak out. Like I start getting in my own head. The Ring, I sat down and I watched The Ring almost the entire way through. I laughed at certain scenes. Like I thought it legit was kind of a funny movie up until at the very end when the little fucking wet bitch comes crawling out the TV. I couldn't handle it. That got me.
Yeah, no.
You know?
I hear you.
It's I don't know. Like I watched what was it? The Exorcism of Emily Rose. And that movie was compelling, but when I was sitting on my couch watching that, and it got to a certain part, and like I couldn't help but like I put my feet up off the floor and I put them up on the couch. I was like, nope, not doing this. In case there's something underneath my couch that's gonna grab me by the foot and rip me underneath there. I never know. No,
I got you. I mean, I understand. Trust me, I get it. But like, your mom kind of even said the same thing to me. She was like, "You guys picked some weak horror movies." I'm like, to be fair, to be fair,
2 of them were listener picks, two
and
of
the one.
Them, I'm sorry, just in general for mine, and then you were going easy on me.
Yes, I was. Like, I was going easy on you for those picks because I was like, for my pick. And I just, because I enjoyed Dave Made a Maze, like I said, and it was an excuse to watch Dave Made a Maze. Like, I mean, true story. It was just an excuse to watch Dave Made a Maze. I love that movie. And so I made my call. But yeah.
Yeah.
So for me,
next year, Devin says he's not going easy on me. He's actually going to be out to scare me. It's not a hard thing to do. I don't know. Like even okay, even if we had watched The Hills Have Eyes, that movie wouldn't have frightened me. That movie would literally just would have sickened me. That's the only reason I was so against watching it. You
Right.
know?
And that's fine. Like Hills Have Eyes, but like I would have like my picks for
Okay, here's another perfect example, and I don't even know why. Like I don't know why it creeped me out so much. The fucking Blair Witch Project. Okay, that movie fucking was boring as fuck. I hated that movie.
I guarantee you the last 5 minutes scared you more than the whole movie did.
It wasn't even the last 5 minutes. It was literally as soon as they walked into that cabin and they turned around and they looked and their buddy was just standing with his face towards the corner of the room. Like they had their back towards them or whatever. That freaked me the fuck out. I was like, dude, all I'm seeing is a dude facing the corner. I don't know why this is freaking me out so bad. But it did. You know? I don't know. It's I don't know what type of fear that is that really puts me on
I
edge.
think what scares you the most is it's kind of the fear of you're afraid of something that's not necessarily there. It's kind of the same thing that scares you in games. It's like it's not the creature, it's the absence of the creature, but you know something's off.
Right.
Like you know something's off in the scene, but you can't exactly say what it is, and you can't exactly, like do anything about it.
Right.
And for me, like going back to games for a second, like for me, games that make me slowly feel like I'm the one that's going crazy, I love, and they also terrify me.
What?
Like games that make me feel like I'm slowly going crazy, I love, but they also terrify me. Like games where like stuff will slowly change in the environment or stuff will slowly, like there was a game that did that where the controls would slowly get harder to use and stuff would change in the environment as you were going through the game. So like intense scenes, you'd be like mashing the turn button and you're turning slow as fuck. You're like, I'm not crazy. This is way slower than usual. What the fuck? And it would do that to you. And it would be like, you would be trying to run somewhere and you're literally running down this hallway, and the hallway, you just left the hallway and the hallway's not changing, but it's taking longer to get to the end of the hallway. Hallway's not longer. You're moving slower. And it would do things like that to you. I wish I could remember what game that was. But it would do shit like that to you and make you. It was really subtle, but it would make you like lose your mind a little bit while you were playing it. And those kind of games to me like really stand out,
Right.
because they actually drive me up the wall. Like I sit there like I know I'm not crazy. I know I'm not crazy, but maybe I am.
I don't know. I mean, it's yeah. I think I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to horror. That's really what I think it boils down to.
You create things that are worse than what's actually there.
Yeah.
In
Like
your
I mean,
mind,
to this
like-
day, like Pet Cemetery. Like I've told you this story a million times. I can't watch Pet Cemetery because of the one scene with the little old lady in the rocking chair. Because my mom
Because you
had
have a
her
rocking
room.
chair like that.
Yeah, my mom had her room when growing up. Her room was set up kind of like that old lady's room, and she had a rocking chair in the corner for a little while. And it was just like every time I looked it through the doorway, I just saw it rocking. It's like, nope, I'm good.
That reminds me of that scene I sent you, like that one like short clip I sent you. You're like, thanks, I can't sleep tonight. I have a lamp like that just by my bed.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Webby's like, I haven't slept since.
Yeah, I know it's messed up. So, but yeah,
like if I had to pick 4 movies, like just for myself, I would have picked Hereditary. I would have picked the original Amityville Horror. I would have picked, let me think, Hereditary, the original Amityville Horror. I would have picked The Shining.
See, I know for a fact, and I haven't seen it, but I know for a fact the Amityville Horror movie would have freaked me out.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Any movie based off of like possession will freak me out. Like The Exorcism of Emily Rose, that movie freaked me the fuck out. I don't do well with people who get all contorted and walk backwards downstairs.
Yeah. So I would have, for my 4 films I would have picked for that would have been The Shining. In this order, I would have picked The House of the Devil, followed by, actually no, I would have picked the original, like the original like horror, like scary house. I would have picked the Amityville Horror first, followed by The House of the Devil. Or should I go House of the Devil then Amityville Horror? Because if I went House of the Devil, you would have lower expectations. The Amityville Horror would blow them out of the water. Yeah, I would do that way. I would do House of the Devil first, Amityville Horror, the original, because that's a true story. That's a true house and a true story, based on a true story. Follow that with Hereditary, and follow that with The Shining. That would have been my 4 I would have picked. And maybe the 4 we're doing next year.
Well, I mean, we're going to be watching The Shining before then anyway.
Right.
So.
True story. So I just replaced The Shining with something else, which is fine. I can do that.
Man. I don't know. It's freaky.
What?
I don't know. Just, I'm thinking back on some of the movies that really kind of got to me.
Have you seen the original Paranormal Activity?
No, I haven't seen any of the Paranormal Activities.
Okay, then I would pick that one.
No,
I'd pick that one. I would end with the Amityville Horror. So I would start with House of the Devil, go into Paranormal Activity, which ironically enough came out the same year, then go Hereditary, then end with the Amityville Horror. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. That those are the 4 I'd pick. Paranormal Activity 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 are really good. 3 is, and then the recent one is great in a funny way. I mean, it ends with a bunch of cholos running in a house and shooting people. I mean, it ends with a bunch of cholos. Spoiler alert! Ends with a bunch of cholos running in a house and like shooting up cultists. It's pretty funny. I find it to be kind of funny. It's pretty funny.
Well, I mean, that's all I got for that particular one that Ross said.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Oh,
I mean, so
actually, another
we didn't really
game.
list our horror games.
Another game. It's called Fear.
Yep. That game's fun.
I started playing that, and it's a shooter game, and I had fun playing it.
That game reminds me of BioShock. Oh, not BioShock. What's the other one that's kind of like BioShock? Dead Space.
Never played it.
It's like a cross between that game and Alien Isolation.
Okay.
You're basically a guy in a space station by yourself. You have guns and you're fighting like cosmic horrors.
Okay. But yeah, like, so playing that game, there's just at the very beginning, just the fact that you keep seeing this little girl in this little red dress. And again, it's, the hair's down in front of her face. You don't really ever see her face. And that freaked me out. Like, I eventually ended up playing through all of the Fear games. Like, I've beaten all of them. Some really weird twist storylines to the fucking, like, the third one. But, yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't like little girls with hair in front of their face. Like, I don't like not being able to see faces. Oh, that and The Grudge. I get freaked out with the
Grudge in the
pale
Ring?
kid.
Have you seen the original Grudge?
No, with Sarah. That's not the
No,
one.
the original, like the
no.
actual Asian one. That one's terrifyingly fun.
Nope.
That one's terrifying. The other one's like, all right. That one's actually terrifying.
But yeah, like the one where she's in the shower and then like there's a hand that comes out of the back of her skull or whatever. Nah, I'm good. Dude, I don't know. Man, I feel like we really did drop the ball this Halloween now, because like all these movies that really do freak me out, and I wasn't freaked out in a single one of them this year.
I mean,
I'm tooting my own horn, but next year you're gonna pull me through the ringer. So
I'm gonna lambaste you next year. It's fine.
So yeah. Let's see. I have a couple little things that we can talk about, and then we'll wrap up. It'll be kind of a shorter.
That's fine. For all you sidebar, for all you bronies out there, and all you My Little Pony lovers, Magic the Gathering Arena is currently having a promotion where you can buy My Little Pony sleeves for your cards. So just so you know, now's the time to act.
Okay.
For $3.99, you too could have a Princess Twilight Sparkle sleeve.
All right. So Ross did send me 2 links for some Halloween trivia. It being Halloween and all.
Okay, I know.
I'm gonna see if you know any of these.
Probably not.
The first jack-o'-lanterns. All of these are multiple choice, but I'm gonna see if you know them off the top of your head.
Probably not. Looking for
it. What were they made out of? If you don't know, I will give you the multiple choices.
Oh, they were made out of. Give me the multiple choice because I know it was like a root vegetable. I can't remember what it was.
Watermelons, turnips, coconuts, and pumpkins.
Turnips.
It was.
And they're terrifying. They are.
Yeah. No.
Have you seen a picture of them?
I have. I did a little bit of research into this.
They are terrifying. Like, people should still make turnip jack-o'-lantern.
Agreed.
Because they're terrifying. Like, that one's terrifying.
Let's see. Halloween is generally considered to have evolved from what ancient festival? Beltane, Ostara, Lammas, or Samhain?
It's a Samhain.
It is. Ding,
there
ding,
you
ding. It is Samhain is a festival that is the Celtic New Year.
There we go.
Let's see. From base to point, what is the order of colors on a piece of candy corn?
It's orange, white, yellow, right?
Nope.
Okay. I hate candy corn, so I'm fine with that.
I think it's orange, yellow, white. Nope, I was wrong too. Fuck, what color is candy corn?
Candy corn is
yellow, orange, white? Yep, yellow, orange, white.
Okay.
The Indian corn variation is brown at the widest end. I like this because when I click on them, it gives me a little or ding 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 noise, so I can just that'll just get added into the thing.
I like it. Nice.
What might you quote unquote bob for on Halloween? Pumpkins, sweet potatoes, Snickers, or apples?
Apples.
You are correct.
Who's bobbing for stickers? Like,
I mean, I would.
I kind of want to see that now. Like, somebody go through have like a movie based around like a murderous Halloween party, and somebody tries to bob for apples, but it's just like hydrochloric acid, and they just bob and die.
Yeah.
Get their face melted off. Like, yeah.
All right. If you want to keep spirits out of your home on Halloween, what should you sprinkle on your doorstep? Sage, garlic, holy water, or salt?
I'm gonna go with salt.
You are correct.
Supernatural knowledge coming through for your boy.
That's right. According to tradition, salt can be laid around the boundaries of a room to prevent spirits and demons from entering.
Take that, spirits and demons.
Here we go. What classic horror film is based on a true story? The Amityville Horror, The Blair Witch Project. You are correct. The Amityville Horror is based on the alleged experiences of the Letts family, who brought a new
Is that up in your neck of the woods too?
Who bought a new home. It's in New York.
Oh, okay.
On 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York, a house where a mass murder had been committed the year before.
112 Ocean Ave, man. It's a big ass house too. Jesus.
Oh no,
Built 1924.
I'll never
Floor
do
space
this.
is 4,100 square feet. 3 floors. Not a bad spot. Currently owned by David D'Antonio, who's an author. Go for it.
Let's see. According to superstition, if you stare into a mirror at midnight on Halloween, what will you see? Dead ancestors, Bloody Mary, your death, or your future spouse?
You're deaf.
Incorrect.
Oh.
I'm going to say dead ancestors. I was also incorrect. It can't be. No, it's not Bloody Mary either. According to this,
The future
superstition,
spouse?
you'll see your spouse.
All right.
That's
So I know what
scary
I'm doing
thought.
tonight at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, because it's not Bloody Mary, because that's the one where you have to say that
You got to
name
stand in there and say Bloody Mary.
3 times in a row. Here's my dad chiming in. Oh. But you got to say the name. That's the problem. It's not. This is just looking into a mirror at midnight on Halloween. Let's see.
So let me ask you this question. Is it
Okay.
12 a.m. on the 31st or 12 a.m. on the 1st? Because technically I already missed it.
It'd be midnight on the 31st.
So we missed it already. Damn.
No, technically we haven't.
No, because midnight is not the 31st anymore. Midnight is not. Is in the 1st.
Either way, we wouldn't have missed it. That would be tonight
Well, that's
/
tonight.
tomorrow morning.
No, it would have been. It would have been Thursday at 12 a.m., which is past because Thursday today is the 31st at 12 a.m. would have just moved to Thursday, meaning we missed it already.
By the time this comes out,
No, even today we've missed it.
I don't.
Because at
I see
12
what you're
a.m.
saying now.
it changes to the 31st, meaning you would have to. If I stood in the mirror at 12 a.m. tonight or tomorrow, it would be 12 a.m. on the 1st, not not midnight on Halloween. Midnight on Halloween is the 12 a.m. on the 31st.
You pose an interesting point there. Yeah, I would say that it would be the first thing. It would be the very first thing that you do that day. Because you technically you are correct.
It's like I have to wait another year to
question.
find out who my
No,
spouse
hold on.
is.
I got another question. When it comes to like superstitions like this, right?
Yep.
How
You
do
account for daily this time.
yeah? How do they know what time zone that's in? Like,
Don't get that deep with me. It's not important. It's
I mean,
supernatural. It applies to your time zone.
technically, would it apply to the time zone of say like the British Isles or whatever? Like,
It applies to the.
this.
It would
is
be.
all,
It'd be. I think what is it? GMT is the standard time, like across the board.
I guess.
Yeah, I think whatever you could do the standard time, or you could just say that it's it's supernatural and the legend will conform to your timeline because it's nice like that. I like to think if the legend is like if it's like a sinister thing, it'll just conform to your time. It's like, well, I want you to fuck up, so I'll just conform.
Right.
Like has to be at midnight. 12:02. Sure, why not? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Let's fuck with you.
What was I gonna say? Oh, what product is banned in Hollywood on Halloween? Toilet paper, ski masks, razor blades, or silly string?
You would think it's razor blades, but I'm gonna say silly string.
You are correct.
There we go.
Silly string fans should stay away from Hollywood on Halloween. An ordinance banning the toy, first introduced in 2004 after complaints from Hollywood Boulevard property owners, is only enforced on October 31st. If you're caught with sticky hands, expect to pay a $1,000 fine.
You would think it would be mask and razor blades. You'd think, right? Like
Yeah, I was gonna go ski masks, but
you would think it's ski mask and razor blades, but I'm like,
yeah.
silly string. Hollywood, silly string. Hollywood's a crazy place. Silly string sounds more appropriate.
Fair.
Bunch of clowns.
Now here's one that I have that I'm uncertain about. What movie convinced people to get rid of Ouija boards, witch board, paranormal activity, The Exorcist, or white noise?
Well, that's The Exorcist, hands down.
Yeah, you are correct. I don't remember much about The Exorcist. I know
Good
she
movie.
vomited a bunch of pea soup.
Yep, it's a good movie though. Good movie.
Um,
This is I have 17 creepy facts about 112 Ocean Avenue.
okay, I'll do 2 more
16
of these.
facts.
Uh,
I have a little bit of time. It's fine.
that one we'll go to page 5 of this real quick. We'll go to who died on Halloween night? Harry Houdini, Mary Shelley, H.P. Lovecraft, or Bram Stoker?
I believe it's Harry Houdini.
You are correct. No comments from the peanut gallery.
I answered before the peanut gallery, so it's okay.
It was Houdini. I thought you didn't like people hearing you or being on TV and stuff.
He's like being.
I see that.
Visually
You're being recorded right now. This is going to get released because I'm not editing you out. Too late. You're being heard. That's fine, but I'm not editing this. No, you did not get it wrong. I'm not saying you did.
I like how I went from I don't want to be recorded to all right, from recorded, I don't want to get it wrong. Did I get it wrong? Okay, we're good. That's a winner.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, this will be an easy one for you. We'll end on this one, I guess. In what Halloween classic does Max Dennison accidentally resurrect 3 witches from the Salem witch trials? Beetlejuice, Hocus Pocus, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, or The Black Cauldron?
I actually know this one. I want to go with
That dinging noise was my correct guess.
I actually don't know the answer to this one. What are the options again?
Beetlejuice, Hocus Pocus, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, or The Black Cauldron? It's a Halloween classic.
I'm gonna go Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
You are incorrect.
All right, that's fine.
It is Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus. Okay.
No, you're being recorded. For somebody who doesn't like to be recorded, you're being recorded.
I haven't seen Hocus Pocus
What
in
is it?
years. Like that was like my Halloween movie when I was a kid.
I just said the answer was Hocus Pocus. Jesus
That was like my Halloween movie when I was a kid. And it's like now I've kind of outgrown that movie. Like I love it to death. But
I haven't seen it since I was younger. Yeah.
I haven't seen it in probably like 10 years. Like I forgot the kid.
God damn it.
Did they like fall over in the back?
People live on SU are going to witness me beating my father. All right.
All right. So
I'm all done my trivia, Devin. You can go. Give me your what was it? Facts about the Amityville
I got the
house?
facts about the Amityville Horror House. Yes. It's supposed to be 17, but I'm going to go 16 because there's no who cares about the square footage. Actually, it's going to be 14 because or 15 because you shoot facts. Anyway, so the night of November 13th, 1974, using a 35 caliber Marlin 336C rifle, 24-year-old Ronald Defoe Jr. shot the other 6 members of his family as they slept at 112 Ocean Ave. Going from room to room, he first shot his parents, then his 2 brothers, then his 2 sisters. The murders took 15 minutes from start to finish. All 6 victims were found lying face down in bed, despite the fact that they had all been killed in the middle of the night with gun blasts. Neighbors only reported hearing the dog bark. Defoe showered after the murders and then went to the local bar, acting hysterically and saying it looked like someone had killed his family. When he was taken by police to be interrogated, Defoe told them that a mob hitman had held a gun to his head, but when police pointed out inconsistencies in the story, he confessed, saying, "Once I started, I just couldn't stop. It went so fast."
Jesus.
His lawyers attempted to cop to an insanity plea for Defoe, claiming that he heard voices commanding him to kill. The defense failed. Defoe was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 6 life sentences. All of his parole appeals have been denied. Defoe has changed his story numerous times since killing his family. Apart from the original alibi that a mafia hitman had done it, he claimed that his sisters killed their father, then their mother killed him, then their mother killed his sisters, and the other children. Then he killed his mother. And another version, he only killed his sisters while struggling with a gun. For nearly 13 months after the murders, the house remained empty until it was bought by the Lutz family for $88,000. Which, by the way, I will say this. The square footage of that house, $88,000, is quite the steal. I mean, granted, it's House of the Devil, but it's quite the steal. I mean, if you go back up, the house has 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and it's 4,300 square feet. And it used to have a swimming pool and a boathouse.
All right.
So, I mean, for $88,000, this is quite the steal. I mean, I could deal with a little possession for $88,000. A nice house.
I probably would not. I
we just have to work out like a possession schedule. Like, all right, look, you can take over my body on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and every other Sunday.
Yeah, no, I don't see me doing that. So
anyway, so when the Lutzes moved in, all the furniture from the Defoe family remained intact from the night of the murder. They had purchased the furniture for $400 as part of their mortgage agreement. That's just stupid. The Lutzes only lasted in the house for 28 days before moving out, terrified at what they claimed was supernatural phenomena, according to the book The Amityville Horror. Allegations of what happened during those 4 weeks include Patriarch George Lutz would wake up around 3:15 every morning to visit the boathouse. This happened to be the exact time of the Defoe family killings. Even though it was December and quite cold in New York, the house was swarming with flies. Kathy Lutz had repeated nightmares about the murders. Kathy said she repeatedly felt herself being embraced by an unseen force. George and Kathy claimed they saw the image of a demon with half his head blown out.
Yes.
The Lutz's daughter, Missy, befriended an entity she called Jody, a demonic red-eyed pig. George kept waking up to the sound of the front door slamming, but no one else had heard it, and the front door was always closed when he checked. Kathy received red welts on her chest and levitated 2 feet in the air while in bed. Jeanne Clovenhoof prints appeared in the snow outside the house on New Year's Day. Green slime oozed from walls in the house in the hall. A crucifix on the wall kept revolving until it was upside down. George saw his wife transform into a 90-year-old woman. The Lutzes hired a priest to bless the house. The priest claimed that upon throwing his first splash of holy water inside the house, he heard a loud masculine voice demanding he get out. The priest subsequently developed a high fever and blisters on his palms, similar to a stigmata, the mark of crucifixion. The Lutzes also claimed that every family before and after them experienced similar things. This was soundly refuted by subsequent residents, the Grimaldi family, who issued this statement. The quiet village of Amityville, Long Island, has been made infamous by a hoax. It will never be the same. It is Long Island's equivalent to Watergate. None of us will be here today if a responsible publisher and author had not given credibility to 2 liars and allowed them the privilege of putting the word true on a book in which all actuality is a novel. The credibility of the hoax stems from using a charlatan Catholic priest who's been banned from performing his religious duties by the Diocese of Rockville Center, the equivalent of disembarment of a lawyer. The charlatan priest has been involved with a complicity to a lie and therefore deserves no credibility and should be dealt with accordingly. That last statement sounds kind of sinister.
Right.
He needs to be dealt with accordingly. The book, The Amityville Horror, although highly fictionalized, was greeted by the press as if entirely nonfiction. The LA Times gushed it as it was more hideously frightening than the extras because it actually happened. And it has spawned a long list of movies. So there's the Amityville Horror in 1979, the Amityville 2, The Possession in 1982, Amityville 3D in 1983, Amityville 4, The Evil Escapes in 1989, The Amityville Curse in 1990, The Amityville It's About Time in 1992, Amityville A New Generation in 1993, Amityville Dollhouse 1996, Amityville Horror 2005 remake, The Amityville Haunting in 2011, The Amityville Asylum in 2013, The Amityville Death House in 2015, The Amityville Playhouse in 2015, The Amityville No Escape in 2016, The Amityville The Awakening in 2017, and The Amityville Murders in 2018. And we may have another one coming in 2019 or 2020. Who knows? And you can tour the house was recently remodeled so that the creepy windows on the top floor that like demonic eyes were removed. It sold for nearly $1 million, and the new owners worked out a deal with the city where the address was changed to 108 Ocean Avenue.
Jesus.
So there you go.
Well, that was. I don't really want to watch this movie next year, Devin.
It's happening.
Fuck. What if we watch it before next year?
Then we watch the remake next year. And you can compare the two. I mean, the remake has Ryan Reynolds.
Can we watch that one instead of the originals?
No.
Shit.
We can watch both.
Fuck. I'm not gaining anything here.
I mean, yeah, the remake, it is played by Ryan Reynolds. I mean, actually, the remake is not that bad. Like, I don't hate the remake. It's not as atmospheric and not as well done as the original. Best way to put it.
Okay. Fair.
I mean, here, I'll tell you what. We can watch none of them next year. But we got to do we got to do 3 weeks. We watch one horror movie, but we got to do a 3-week back-to-back review of Rose Red.
I don't know what that is. Is that a horror movie?
It's a Stephen King miniseries. It's like 4 hours long. It's that 4-hour thing I was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like 4 hours long.
I'm not making any deals until I learn a little bit more about this.
It's honestly it came out on Sci-Fi. It was like it's not that bad. It's one of those movies like I actually enjoy it. It does have some moments, and it has like the creepy house vibe and like things changing in the house, but like I don't hate it.
Right.
It's just kind of one of those things where it's kind of like it's very similar to what's that movie with Liam Neeson? The remake of The Haunting of Hill House. The Haunting. There you go. That was it. Hey, look at me. It's kind of similar to The Haunting. In fact, it was originally written to be The Haunting. It was going to be a loose remake of The Haunting. But then when it didn't happen for whatever reason, I think they went with somebody. They picked up the other movie instead. They picked up The Haunting, the other one. So then he was just like, all right, well then he rewrote it and made it into a miniseries for Sci-Fi. So it's kind of very similar along those same veins. So kind of like The Haunting of Hill House, in that same kind of vein, except I believe I'm not mistaken in this, they're psychics. They are psychics. Yes.
Okay.
So like they're psychics going into a house supposed to be like psychic phenomena supposed to happen in the house. It's like this giant ass mansion. And they're going there to do that. To like, tap into that. And I forgot the whole story. But yeah, I enjoy it. It's 3 parts. Each part's like an hour and a half. It's like 4 hours total. We could do that. 100%. We could do that. Or we could do the movies I mentioned before. Honestly, out of all the movies I mentioned, I think the one that's going to get you the most is probably Hereditary.
Now, what is that one about?
That's one more new. That one's came out last year. I read you this little synopsis. When the matriarch of the Graham family passes away, her daughter and grandchildren begin to unravel cryptic and increasingly terrifying secrets about their ancestry, trying to outrun the sinister fate they have inherited. Absolutely love this movie. Was absolutely an amazing movie. I went in with it expecting way less than what I got out of it, and I loved it. And it's actually a great movie. Probably one of the scarier horror movies to come out in a long time.
Okay.
But all right.
Well,
I think that's all I got.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we got for this week's SU. So again, write us on Facebook and tell us what would scare you in a video game, or what in a movie particularly scares you, if it's anything in particular. Devin, do we have our life advice with Devin?
Yeah. My talk accountability. What we were talking about earlier. It's okay to fail. It's okay to lose. It sounds kind of cliched, but you'll learn some of your best lessons in life from losing and failing than you ever will by always succeeding. So don't be afraid of failure. Just be prepared to learn from it.
Right on. All right, and then where can people find you on the internet?
You guys can find me on Twitter at DMP_Pookie and on Twitch at Poo Killed Me. And you can find me on eBay searching abandoned houses by myself.
And as always, you guys can follow me on Twitter at JaxForestWalker, all one word, on Twitch at DMWebby, on Instagram at Patrick.Webster52,
Hey.
and on eBay, reluctantly following Devin into
haunted houses. He's coming with me, boys. We're doing it.
I can't let you do it.
You know what?
I can't let you do a solo.
You know what? Next year, screw it. This is what we're doing. No promises. Next year, this is what we're doing, though. We're not even going to watch horror movies. Me and Webby are going to go on a ghost hunting retreat.
No.
For like a week, taking it with me,
No.
and then we're gonna come back and report on it. No. That's what's gonna happen. No. We're gonna shoot live SU episodes.
Dude, I won't even go into haunted houses. Like I won't even go into a haunted house.
Webby, you just said you're gonna reluctantly come along with me.
Fuck.
So.
Fuck. All right. Until next time, everybody. Fuck Booster Gold and fuck Halloween. God.
Fuck Booster Gold. We out of here.
I don't even know where the exit music is on this. Hold on, I don't have it up. I'm not prepared. I'm very not happy about my own fucking words now. Shit. I'm just keeping my goddamn mouth shut. Fuck Dan Cook too.
Yep, fuck Dan Cook.
It's only for the month, so this is the last time we get to do it. Dan Cook, if you're listening, it's nothing personal.
But it also kind of is.
It kind of is.